everyone. It's finale time here at the Hockenheimring DTM season 2025. We're super psyched because the DTM season, I don't remember ever being this exciting. 9 drivers still have the chance to snatch the title. And the man who's got his first pole position is Ben Green. So superb position for you, especially considering the fact that it's raining cats and dogs. It's terrible weather. So at least when you go straight ahead, when it says let's go racing, at least you see something.
Yeah, I'm the only guy that can see where they're going, so that's got to be an advantage today. So yeah, very happy to get pole position this morning.
Absolutely, and you're going to give it your all. Obviously a bit of slippery and sliding, but it'll be a good race for you, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely, I think so. I mean, it'll be interesting to drive the car in the wet here, but I'm sure we'll find our way around.
All right, well, best of luck, and thank you for holding the umbrella for me as well. So that's going to be an exciting one, that's for sure. Sorry, I'm live. And also now we're going to have a look for Jack, because Jack Aitken is starting in P2, and in fact he is one of the 9 drivers who can still actually snatch the titles. For him, it's giving it his all, as always. And yeah, Jack, so starting from P2 in the soaking wet, and obviously your main thing is probably to overtake Ben Green and then hopefully go for it. It sounds so easy when we say it. I know it's going to be a tough one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's getting quite wet now, but hopefully everything stays pretty smooth in the first laps for us, and then we see what the pace is like. I mean, we didn't do any running in the wet this weekend, so for everybody it's a little bit into the unknown. I just try to have fun, and hopefully me and Ben can get away.
Exactly, and hopefully keep the others who are fighting for the title all the way in the back.
Yeah, that's the plan.
All right, thank you so much, Jack, and now here are your commentators.
Thanks very much indeed, Verena. Yes, a wet race for the penultimate round of DTM 2025. You know, just to make things a bit more interesting, because this has been one heck of a season, and it's 9 drivers, as Verena said, that can still win the championship. We have had that before, back in 2022, but it was never this close. There's only, coming into the weekend, 29 points between all 9 of them. At the moment, we've still got 53 points left available in the championship, so it's going down to the wire. Lucas Auer, championship leader for the vast majority of the season, but with his worst starting position of the season, he only qualified 18th. He'll start 17th on the grid. That's because we were due to have a Ferrari 1-2-3 and Emil Frey Racing 1-2-3 on the grid. But unfortunately, the news came through after qualifying that Thierry Vermeulen's car was found to be 4.5 kilos underweight. He has been disqualified from qualifying and put to the back of the grid. Everybody from 4th down the grid shifting up 1 place. So it means that it's Ben Green and Jack Aitken on the front row, and another championship competitor, Tommy Preining, up to 3rd on the grid now, which is where we're headed back and to catch up with Verena.
And I'm here with René Rast, who's putting on the helmet, getting all ready for his race, because obviously it's such an important race. Only 2 more to go in the season. You're 3rd in the championship and you need to pick up points. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, hopefully stay ahead of Lucas Auer and John Pepper, because they're both behind me, which would mean that we are, gaining on them in the championship. But it's going to be a tricky race. We know that the BMW is not performing as well as the others in the wet, so let's see what happens. I think we need to stay on track and just maximize.
And I guess being 3rd in the battle for the championship, I mean, you announced yesterday that this will be your last season. We're very sad about that, René. But so hopefully you're going to go out of this championship, hopefully as a winner, and you're going to give it your all.
That's the plan. I mean, it's still 2 races to go. Today is obviously a very important race. We need to collect points, and tomorrow anything can happen. So, yeah, we give it all.
All right, I'll leave you to it. Best of luck, René, and back to you.
Thanks, Verena. Yeah, René Rast, 5 times a winner here at Hockenheim. Never actually in the GT3 era of DTM, but he was on the podium here last year in the final race of the season. But that bombshell, as Verena said, they're coming last night from René Rast when he announced that he's not going to be back on the DTM grid, unfortunately, in 2026. He didn't say it's permanently goodbye to the DTM, but he definitely won't be with us next year. So that gives him even more fuel to try and get his 4th championship title. But the rain, definitely not good news for the BMW drivers. They struggle in these conditions. I reckon it's very good news for Jordan Pepper. He's pretty mega in the wet weather conditions as we've seen this season. It's Fabio Scherer getting warmed up, ready for what's going to be potentially a challenging race for him. He's almost at the back of the grid. Fabio had issues with the car yesterday where the steering broke in free practice 1, just 3 laps in. Didn't get any running at all after that in free practice 1. And then the car has been a bit of a struggle in these conditions. But Maurice Skuring is in a Porsche, and the Porsches have been going well, wet or dry. It's been dry so far, but they should be pretty handy in the wet conditions. And Maurice with his equal best starting position of the season, starting in 5th place on the grid, as he did at the Sachsenring, and he has been up there all the way through the free practice sessions yesterday and in qualifying this morning. And he is battling, as you can see, with Ben Durr and Gilles Magnus in particular for the Rookie of the Year. Only 5 points between Ben Durr and Maurice Skuring. So we look at the Drivers' Championship, but there's quite a big focus on this rookie title as well. They've been swapping the lead, those two, all the way through the season. Maurice has had 5 rookie class wins. Ben has had 4. And Gilles Magnus has been catching them both up. They're listening, no doubt, to some guitar-based music. His rock fan, Arjun Maini, who was telling me he was in London last week, I think it was, to go and see Oasis live at Wembley. And it cost him a fortune, but he loved it. So he's amping himself up, ready to go, but no experience of driving that car this weekend in wet conditions here at Hockenheim. So we'll see how he can get on with the Ford connection with René Rast as well. René Rast is looking this weekend to become the first driver since Klaus Ludwig to become a DTM champion for 2 different brands. Remember, because he did much of his racing as an Audi driver, now a BMW driver. But Klaus in 1988 won the title with Ford, and then won it again 4 years later in 1992 as a Mercedes driver. Tommy Preining, double winner here in 2023, the year he wrapped up the championship title. He will go for it, and he's also trying to help Manthey regain the team's championship from Schubert. Manthey won it in 2023. Schubert won it last year. There's only 16 points between them. Winwood, who run the Mercedes of Maro Engle, who's 4th in the championship, and Jules Gounon, who's 9th in the championship, still have a chance at that as well. The Manufacturers' Championship, as it's been all season long, is being led by Mercedes, but they haven't yet wrapped it up. The only championship that has been wrapped up is the Pit Stop Challenge for the fastest pit stops in each race. Winwood can't be caught now, so they have won that one. And as you can see, it is very windy down there on the grid as well. Rain, wind, tough conditions. Let's go back to the grid and to Verena.
And now I'm here with Luki Auer. Luki, your championship leader, 7 points ahead of Pepper. Unfortunately, you didn't have a good qualifying, which is why you're starting in P17. Now the question, maybe is it good for you that we've got rain, because maybe strategy comes in here comes into hand?
First of all, in qualifying we had a slow puncture, so I think we actually did quite well, yeah, because this obviously doesn't help. And now for this position, and rain is actually perfect. Couldn't be any better. So I will push, I will go forward, and then we see at the end of the race.
Absolutely, and that's Luki. I mean, always positive. And obviously, I mean, you are the leader of the championship. There's a clear advantage, and we've got another race tomorrow as well. So you can still see that title, and it's quite close, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite close, but we see. We are so tight together, race by race, lap by lap.
All right, well, best of luck. Thank you so much. And now let's go racing. Only 2 more races to go in this season, and we're so super excited because it couldn't be more exciting. So let's do it. Let's go racing in the rain, and here are your commentators.
Great stuff. Thanks very much to Verena down there on the grid, and great of Luki to give us some time as well. The championship leader, but coming out fighting, is Jordan Pepper. Still smiling. Tough weekend so far, but he's only 7 points behind Lucas Auer, and he's ahead of him on the grid. Jules Gounon will go for it. He's the last of the potential championship winners, standing in 9th place. Timo Glock having a good qualifying in the top 10. Let's see what the McLaren can do. René Rast looking for a 4th title. Arjun Nguyen, more wins than anybody this season with 4 victories. When he has a good weekend, he has a great weekend. Maybe he could do something special here and become the first ever Turkish DTM champion. Maro Engle in the fight again. Gilles Magnus always improving. The Belgian driver doing an excellent job. He starts 6th on the grid. 5th on the grid, Maurice Skuring. Ricardo Feller, the hero of the Red Bull Ring. He's got 20 kilograms of success ballast as a winner last time out in Austria, but it's wet and it doesn't make so much difference. Tommy Preining starts third on the grid. Jack Aitken is now only 19 points behind the championship lead, starting in second place, the highest placed of the key championship contenders. And Ben Green with his first pole position in DTM off the back of a couple of recent podiums. He is going to be one to watch as well. It's all set up for a beautiful race day here at Hockenheim. Welcome then, everybody, to a wet Hockenheimring for the penultimate race of the DTM 2025 season, round 15 of 16. The championship absolutely blown wide open. The championship leader, Lucas Auer, had a slow puncture in qualifying, had a spin at turn 1. He's back in 17th on the grid. Jordan Pepper, his nearest rival, is out of the top 10 in qualifying. There are 9 drivers that can still win the championship, and this is where they're going to be going into battle, Hockenheim. Let's take a look at the circuit then. It is just over 4.5 kilometres long. We've had 62 DTM races here since the mid-1980s. 17 turns, a real mix of fast, very fast corners, high-speed straights and heavy braking zones. And this was the scene last year when Mirko Bortolotti went on to get a podium finish in the final race of the season to beat Kelvin van der Linde, who led the championship coming into the last day of the season, having won on Saturday. Luca Engle got the race victory, but second place and the championship title went to Mirko Bortolotti. He became the first Italian to win the championship for 35 years since Roberto Ravaglia, and the scenes were very emotional. And we're going to get something similar, I'm sure, when we get to tomorrow. But who will be the champion? There's going to be 1 happy driver and 8 very disappointed drivers. News that the start is delayed because the weather, the rain has got worse. And it's going to be a very spicy one, this, making life even more stressful for drivers, for teams, for race engineers, for family and friends of those involved in the championship fight. Let's take a look at the grid then in reverse order. Thierry Vermeulen qualified third, but disqualified for being underweight, starts 24th with Nicky Tim for company. Fabio Scherer in the Mustang and Max Powell, a wet weather specialist, could be one to watch from further back. Tom Callender and Nicola Bart up next. 18th and 17th, Luca and Lucas Auer with work to do, the championship leader. Arjun Maini and Marco Wittmann just ahead. Wittmann involved in the championship fight as well. Bortolotti and Pepper in their respective Lamborghini start 14th and 13th. Bender in the McLaren, Jules Gounon in the Mercedes up next. Into the top 10, Timo Glock, an excellent effort to be 10th. René Rast is 9th. Ayunjin Nguyen 8th. Maro Engel 7th. And then Gilles Magnus in 6th place in the Aston. Maurice Skuring equaling his best of the season in 5th. Ricardo Feller, the winner at Red Bull Ring, 4th. Austrian driver, champion of 2023, Thomas Preining, just behind the top 2 on the grid, which are both Ferraris. Jack Aitken starting in 2nd and Ben Green on pole position. Let's go back down to Verena on the grid.
And I'm here with Jordan Pepper. Jordan, we just found out we've got a delay. Obviously, I mean, this race is so super important, this final weekend for you, because you're 2nd in the championship, only 7 points behind Lucas Auer. What does it do with you now that even there's a delay? I mean, the weather is terrible, but what does it do with you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have time to think of so many interviews, but a good position to be in, obviously. With the rain, I'm ready for it. It's obviously quite heavy, so I think safety is important first. But we saw in Sachsenring, as soon as it was good to go, we went racing. And I think, yeah, I'm just ready to go racing. I much prefer when the helmet's on and to focus out there at the job at hand. It's not going to be easy. It's been a difficult weekend so far due to factors out of our control. But at the same time, it's an exciting championship fight coming up. So hopefully we can put on a good show. Hopefully we keep things safe. But obviously the goal is to go as far forward as possible.
All right, best of luck, Jordan. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Verena. Yeah, tough start to the weekend yesterday for Jordan when they believe the team at Grasser Pebble got stuck in the accelerator bracket. The throttle stuck open. It's the very high-speed right-hander coming into the final arena section at the Mobile 1 curve, taking 125 kilometres an hour. Stuck open, he went straight through the gravel into the barriers and missed most of free practice one. The car is still looking a bit battle-scarred if you see it on track in a while on the left-hand side. But the rain, I think he will be pleased about. So we are here in the commentary box at Hockenheim, ready for lots and lots and lots of drama as we've had all season long. And this was the first bit of drama that we had today at the end of qualifying due to a slow puncture. Luke is saying the championship leader off and then only qualifying 18th, promoted to 17th on the grid, but is still his worst starting position of the season so far. But the rain has come, and that might help out the Austrian too. My name's Chris Hartley. Up here in the commentary box with me, ready to go, is Brian Oliver.
Good afternoon, Chris. Good afternoon, everybody. I know it's a complete cliche, but if you were writing a movie about DTM, this is exactly what you would have it laid out as we head back down to Verena, who's on the grid once again.
And the man who's sitting in the dry is Can Guven. So nicer in the car now than outside, but I mean, obviously the weather is terrible. We've got a delay. So I guess now it just says patience.
Yeah, I mean, this was expected, honestly. For last weekdays in the radar, we see that it's coming just before the race. And exactly it's what's happening. So I think we need to wait 10-15 minutes, then it may become less, and then we can go racing.
And in general, Hockenheimring in the wet, what does the track feel like?
I think it's really technical. We have really different tarmacs, a lot of different like slippery surface and stuff. So I think it's really difficult and technical, so it will be a good race.
And being in the middle of the pack, it's sometimes good to have the rain because then you get strategy to come into play, right?
Yeah, I think for the rain, starting position not really matter, and we are in top 10, so must be a good race.
All right. Well, best of luck. Thank you so much. And yeah, while Can is sitting in the dry, I'm going to run down here and try to maybe find somebody else who wants to talk to me. Back to you.
Thank you, Verena. Thank you, Can, as well. Yes, go and get in the dry. Just to continue what I was saying, if they were going to make a movie, okay, DTM the movie, I know this is a cliche, but this is the script, isn't it? I mean, we've got 9 drivers in the championship, 29 points separating them. We've got the championship leader just 7 points clear, but at the back of the grid. We've got all the contenders scattered through the grid. And hey, let's chuck in a bit of rain as well, just to brighten things up. I think that today, the pit window is going to be really strategic if this rain does stop. But that's a big if. At the moment, it's still chucking it down. We don't have a time for when we're going to get going. Hopefully it will be soon. But this is really throwing yet another random into what has already been a sensational season.
Absolutely right. It's been a weekend of announcements as well. The Rennie Rast announcement not being back on the grid for 2026 we've talked about. Also an announcement coming up with an exciting new partnership, the DTM and the New England Patriots, who are a multiple 6-time Super Bowl winners in the NFL, are joining forces. Really interesting promotion this, trying to promote each other's sports in a sporting partnership. And it means that this weekend, where it starts, all of the DTM cars have New England Patriots stickers on the cars. They've got a presence here. They've been on the grid. They're in the paddock, and they're going to try and promote each other's sports. The NFL is very, very big in Germany now. They've got an event at the Olympic Stadium in Berlin in November, and it's hugely popular in Germany. So the idea is to promote NFL via motorsport and promote DTM via the NFL. So this cross-partnership, they're going to have working together with various things on social media. They're going to get athletes from each of the championships, DTM, and from the New England Patriots, the NFL players, having various challenges against one another as well. So it's a really unique idea, and that's been launched today, and it's a partnership which is going to carry on. And we go back down to the grid and can see that the drivers are just trying to keep in the cars, really, because the last thing you want is to get a wet race suit, which then steams up the inside of the car, makes it even more difficult to see. Other than Ben Green, they're all going to get a face full of spray anyway. You don't want to get your feet wet, so when they'll have come off the grid into the cars, they'll have had the soles of their race boots wiped by the teams as well to make sure they're not going to have any slip on the clutches. Great to see so many fans here. Even on Friday, yesterday, they were flooding in, weren't they, to watch the free practice sessions. And despite the weather, this caught everybody's attention.
Information from race control. Start behind the safety car. We are under the 10-minute board. 10 minutes to the estimated start. Start behind safety car.
That's very wise, isn't it? And it'll be a single file start by the sound of things. And it means that Ben Green will have the advantage of that clear track in front of him, and Jack Aitken will be behind him. Of course, Jack very much in the championship hunt, and he would love it if Ben Green were to move aside. But Ben Green is looking to take a trophy home with him. He says, I'm not in the giving vein. I am wanting to lead this race. I'm wanting to win it. And Jack Aitken will have to work hard to get past him.
Yeah, he said when we spoke to him on Thursday. He's booked an extra big luggage on the flight home back to the UK, hoping that he's going to get some silverware in there. So he gets his first chance to win a race from pole position. Back on the grid with Verena now.
And I'm here with Christian Honadel now from Windward Racing. I mean, for a finale, this is not the weather we wanted, but it was kind of the weather we expected. And now I think it's still a few more minutes, 7 more minutes till the race begins. What are you expecting for the race? I mean, it's still going to be wet, that's for sure. It's going to be slippery.
I think, unfortunately, what we see at the radar at the moment, that actually the rain will increase in a couple of minutes. So I think there's yet the big cloud is coming. So we see what's going on. I mean, I'm sorry for the spectators here around. I mean, so many guys are here and try to have a great final here, and it's a little bit a shame. But at the end, it's for everybody the same, and let's see what's going to happen. But it will be a tough one, this one, yes.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And I mean, also Hockenheimring in the wet, we've seen it quite a few times before. It's nothing new. But as you said, if the rain also increases, safety comes first.
Yes, of course. But I think we have a very good race director here, and I think they have everything under control. And they take care about it, as you see, because they delayed already the start. So I think they have it also in their mind, and let's see how it progresses. But yes, we are relaxed and see what's going on.
You're sitting in the dry.
Yeah, so I think, yeah.
All right, best of luck. Thank you so much. Back to you. Out in the rain again.
Sorry, Verena. Thanks so very much. It's dry in the commentary box. I'll just turn the air conditioning down a little bit.
Oh, stop.
Right, so Christian Owenadel there, the team principal at Windward, very handy racing driver himself, former GT3 a European champion back in 2010 and a frontrunner in the GT1 World Championship as well. And yet we will get a minimum of 2 laps behind the safety car when we do get up and running. But yeah, kind of that's what we were thinking when we were looking at the forecast. It does look like it might get worse before it gets better here. So just a bit more to add to the stress for the drivers. Just to talk about the championship as well. Well, the lights are out. So 3 points for pole, 2 points for qualifying second and a point for qualifying third, which has altered and improved the championship's points for Jack Aitken, who got 2 points for qualifying second. So he's now 19 points rather than 21 points adrift, and Tommy Preining got a point. In fact, he won't get the point, will he, for... we'll get the point because he's disqualified for Vermeulen, so we'll get the point for third even though he qualified fourth. So he's on 147 now. You've got to be within 28 points of the championship leader to still be in the mix going into tomorrow, because there's only 28 points available after today's race, 3 from qualifying and 25 if you win the final race of the season. So Jules Gounon, he's 29 points behind, so he's got to close the gap to the championship leader, which he'll be hoping to do because he's ahead of Lugiauer anyway on the grid. But that's the gap that they've got to get down to. In terms of the rookie championship, it's a different point system for them because you get qualifying points are different. They get 10 points for qualifying as the best qualifier, then 9, then 8, then 7, then 6. So there's a different point system there. So after this race, up to 35 points available, with Bender and Morris skewing very close together in the championship. Team radio.
And during the safety car laps, race control will need a feedback of the driver about track conditions, so just keep us updated.
Sensible again from Sven Stopper, that, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't that good? The people that are best positioned to tell you what condition the track's in are the people that are trying to drive on it. And so Sven, he's a wise man, Sven Stopper, a really great race director, and he'll be listening in to what the drivers are saying, and then we'll make a balanced decision depending on the feedback. So that's really good to hear.
The Manufacturers' Championship, you get your highest 2 cars in the race. There are no points from qualifying. So after this race, there'll be 45 points available. There is race control. And they're stood up towards the left of the picture. That's Sven Stopper, the race director. He's doing an excellent job here of managing this difficult weather situation for the drivers and making the right calls, I think, here in delaying the start of the race, because it's the safety of the drivers, of course. That has to be key here. So if we have to wait a while, we have to wait a while, and I think that's absolutely the right thing to do. In terms of, went far away though, 3-minute board now. In terms of the Manufacturers' Championship, Mercedes with the lead by 41 points, but only 45 points available after this. So it could be wrapped up on Saturday if they score enough points with their highest 2 placed cars. Porsche are second, 41 points adrift. BMW are third, 54 points adrift. Ferrari are fourth, 65 adrift, and still at the moment in the fight and locking out the front row of the grid. Back down to Verena.
And I'm here with Martin Tomczyk. Martin, I mean, what a dilemma. It's such an important race, and we're all so psyched to go racing, and now with all the rain. So I guess in 3 minutes, I think it's time to go racing. It's going to be a tough one.
It's going to be a tough one because it's quite heavy rain and a lot of water on the track at the moment. That's the reason why we had the delay, obviously. But it was the right decision in terms of safety. Now we will have a start behind the safety car as well. It's down to safety conditions, so we can do some laps and that the drivers can heat up their tires. But at the end, it's still pouring down quite a lot. And we have quite a lot of drivers out there who are still fighting for the championship. So it will get a tough one, but a good one to watch, I guess.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Martin. So let's do it. Let's go racing. Here are your commentators.
Thanks very much indeed, Verena. I'm Martin Tomczyk, team principal at AB there, team radio from Jack Aitken.
Repeating myself, it will be a single file copy. And let us also know about track conditions available.
Just absolutely making sure that the drivers know what's what. Looking out the commentary box window, Brian, it has got much heavier in the last 30 seconds, hasn't it?
It is lashing it down out there at the moment. So, well, you can see there from the camera shot, the light is fading as well. It really is stormy conditions, but we believe it is going to clear fairly soon. But you can see the rain lights flashing through the mist and the murk as we get ready to go. But this is really a challenge for drivers and teams. And just hearing we've got another delay to the start. So I think the rain is now torrential, and I don't think there's any way they can get this going quite yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard enough to see the corners without the spray at the moment because it's gone very dark. The rain is absolutely chucking it down. And yeah, it's just not going to be safe to start the race at the moment. So just to build up the anticipation a bit more, the weather has decided to stress us all out, but it is the right decision. But as Christian Hohenadel said, the forecast is it'll get bad for a while, but then it should start to ease. But they will need to try and dissipate some of that surface water with some laps behind the safety car. So probably have to do another track inspection before we get into that process. Poor spectators who opted to buy the seats at the front of the grandstand are getting exposed to the elements somewhat. Those at the back of the grandstand with the roof over them are feeling quite jolly about having taken that decision. We heard from Martin Tomczyk. Do you know this is the first season of the GT3 era of the DTM that they haven't been involved in the title fight coming into the final round of the season? It's been a tough year for Abt, hasn't it? There have been some signs that things have been improving the last few Fridays, actually. Sachsenring, Red Bull Ring, yesterday. Mirko Bortolotti was 5th and 6th in the 2 free practice sessions, but it doesn't quite come together in quali. The race pace has generally been better, but qualifying has been definitely an issue this year for the defending champion Mirko Bortolotti and for Nicky Tim in the Abt Lamborghini, but they're still learning the car, aren't they? Yes,
they were running Audi, obviously, until last year, although they were running the Lamborghini on the Nordschleife of the Nürburgring 24-hour race. But, of course, next year we've got the Lamborghini Temerario potentially coming onto the scene, depending on whether Lamborghini can make enough of them quick enough to replace the Huracan. So it could be that there'll be another car to learn next year, but I think the learning curve will be a lot less steep because I think going from Huracan to Temerario will be something a little bit more similar. But yeah, Abt, such an amazing team, legendary team across many disciplines, and it's almost surprising to not see them in the championship hunt. It just says a lot about what a difficult year they've had, but improving as the season goes on.
Yeah, and Mirko Bortolotti has come out saying, you know, not once this season have I seen anybody at the team making excuses, not trying their hardest, not working their hardest. The effort there has been, and the resolve there to get improvements has been absolutely with Abt, who have come into the championship and finished their drivers in the top 3 in the championship, 18 out of the last 26 years, which shows you how good a team they are. But it's so tough out there. You've only got to be a couple of tenths off the pace and you find yourself in the middle of the field. But this might be an opportunity. Remember Zandvoort? I know it's changeable weather there. We had a wet track to start with, a track which dried out, and Max Powell and Nicky Tim were the 2 notable drivers that said, right, we'll start on the slick tyre then, and it paid off. Max got the win. Hell Motorsports first in the championship, his second, and Nicky Tim got the one and only podium so far this season for Abt. Race will start at 1:54, which is in 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes time. That's estimated. That does depend on the weather. But suddenly, looking out the window, it's cleared very quickly. Still raining, but half as heavily, and the visibility is definitely much, much better. A lot less rain coming down now.
Yeah, I'm looking at the teams rushing to cover the cars up with the tarpaulins, but actually it looks like the rain has significantly reduced. It's now, I would describe as very light rain. So that cloudburst, I think it was, has kind of passed through a little bit. You can see Jack Aitken's car getting covered up. He'll get a bit of peace and quiet in there. The lights are out. He's in the dry. Good opportunity, actually, just for him to focus, think about what's ahead. There's Ben Green, the pole sitter, also getting covered up. But yeah, with the rain having rescinded a little bit now, hopefully that is a sign of what's to come. So we are about 9 minutes, no, less, just a little under 9 minutes away from hopefully getting this thing going.
So, wet weather conditions. If this helps, last year, free practice 1, free practice 2 and qualifying 1 were all wet, various degrees of wet. Free practice 1 and qualifying 1 were properly wet. Hold on to your hats in the grandstands. So the wind is good and bad. It's a nightmare for the spectators and everybody that's out in the elements. But it is blowing the weather away quite quickly, and it is clearing up this rain. Of course, it might bring more with it, I suppose. But it's definitely helping to clear it at the moment. But it's pretty brutal conditions out there for the spectators, given it was pretty nice on Thursday and Friday. The sun was out, T-shirt weather on Thursday. But yeah, in the very wet conditions in free practice 1 last year, Ingen Nguyen set the fastest time, a 1 minute 48.7, which is about 12 seconds off the dry weather pace. And in qualifying 1 on the Saturday last year, on his way to a victory, Kelvin van der Linde, who of course just became the GT World Challenge Sprint Champion of this year in his first season with BMW. He's also trying to win the Asia Championship as well, and leading that one. He qualified on pole position in an Audi run by Abt with a 1:48.797. So could Audi and Porsche have strong wet weather setups here? This is more weather havoc. Yeah, more weather havoc. The wind is the worst of the weathers, isn't it? It just messes everything up, Brian.
Yeah,
except my hair.
No, well, yeah, that looks a bit mess already, he said. There's the wind, just somebody's bag disappearing off down the track. The wind, well, as you said, it's good because it could blow the weather through, and potentially, if it stops raining, it'll help dry the track out. But of course, the wind can play havoc with the handling of the car, and it was there were wind warnings this morning on the various weather apps, and a crosswind can be hazardous. A tailwind can really help you along down the pit straight. So the weather plays a big part in the whole proceedings.
Vereena's got more updates for us. Back to you.
And now I'm here with, and I'm here with Klaus Landgraf. Let's first maybe talk about the weather, because you've got a radar right here, and let's just have a look at that.
We also have a weatherman here. He's looking for all the clouds and everything, and yeah, we need to decide.
And it's not looking very good, right? And I think it says how many more minutes? Maybe 6 minutes 30 till the race begins. What do you think?
You see, we are in the middle of all these clouds, so I think in the next hours we will have no other weather.
But I guess that's not really, I mean, we don't really have a choice.
Exactly, and they are all professional. I think they can drive.
Okay. And also we were seeing that because of the heavy rain and there are certain holes in the car, let's call it holes, is that also a certain danger that the rain goes into the car and then maybe causes damage? Is that why they're putting plans on it now?
For sure, you have a lot of electronic systems inside and everything, so it's dangerous. Yeah.
Right. So let's just hope that maybe the radar clears a bit up and we hopefully get racing.
Cross our fingers.
Thank you so much, Klaus. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Vereena. So good to get some intel there.
Yeah.
It's not that promising, but Klaus's opinion is we'll be all right. They can deal with this. They can rain. It certainly looks a lot clearer at the moment. So as it stands, 5.5 minutes to go before we have at least a couple of laps with the race behind the safety car. Landgraf, who of course are running one of the key championship contenders, Lucas Auer, also running Tom Callender, youngest ever DTM driver. Got best result so far this season with an 11th last time out at the Red Bull Ring. Has done a decent job last year's, one of last year's ADAC GT Masters champions. We saw Maro Engle just briefly there. There is René Rast, and there's the whistleblower ready to get us underway. 5 minute, he looks a bit wetter than he did last time he held that aloft about 15 minutes ago. He's saying, please start the race. I could do with a cup of tea and getting a bit dry now. Done a good job to hold on to that board, to be fair, because that wind is really brutal, isn't it? isn't it?
It is, yes. And it's challenging conditions. I like what you can see, just clearing the pit boxes as well. I think my speculation about slick tyres might have been premature. I like the fact that the teams are bringing their own weathermen to the circuit. That's how seriously they take it. Yes, trying to predict what's going to happen. But this is going to be important when the pit window opens. You don't want to be stopping the car on puddles.
No, absolutely. You want to get away with that. Tons of wheel spin. You won't be able to stop the car in the right spot, millimetre precise as well. These performance pit stops, really good ones, really good ones. We've had 3 this year, can be sub 6 seconds. The fastest 2 pit stops of the year have gone to windward, but in these conditions it makes it really difficult. But they should be looking, most of them, at 7 to 8 second pit stops, stationary time that is, and so everything still has to be absolutely millimetre precise. So all the preparations being done as far as they can. Verena's got more for us.
And we're here with Mr. DTM, Bernd Schneider. It's always good seeing you. And you don't have the biggest smile on your face, obviously, because the weather is terrible. And we're all not very delighted. But I think we've talked about the weather enough now. Let's talk with you about how exciting the DTM season is. Because even in your career, I mean, it's never been this exciting with 9 drivers still having the chance to snatch the title. It's the first time in the history of DTM. So how exciting do you think it is? And what's your guess?
Yeah, it's really impressive to see how close it is. It's not only the drivers, also different manufacturers. I can't remember there was so many manufacturers fighting for a championship. So it's really exciting for everybody, not only in pit, also on the grandstands with all the spectators around the track. So it's really good. It's a shame with the weather, but on the other hand, you know, now we will see the skills of the drivers in the wet conditions. I think it's a little advantage of the Porsche cars. Preining, I think, in this conditions is really strong. But everything can happen, and with Luki Auer, unfortunately, he's only P17, so it's not good in the beginning with the fuel. The spray will be a big issue in the beginning, but he's very experienced driver, very good driver, and I think there's still everything possible.
Absolutely. He said earlier the weather is perfect for him in his situation, because also you were saying it's about the skills of the drivers, but I guess it's also the expertise of the team, because now with the rain it's going to be a lot of strategy.
100%, because if it's heavy rain, it's big different in the tire pressure situations, because if you're running too much tire pressure, you struggle that they overheats pretty soon. If it's not continue raining, if you are running not enough tire pressure, maybe you're struggling with aquaplaning in the beginning. So to take the right decision, it will be very difficult, and the engineers are calculating a lot. So at the moment, I think they're on the grid. There's no more changes possible. I hope Luki's engineer took the right decision.
I hope so. So let's cross our fingers that the rain is looking less. So let's cross our fingers that we can start racing soon.
The weather will be less rain until close end to the race. That's what our weatherman forecast to. So I hope we will see now the race starting, and should be okay until end to the race. Then it starts raining more heavy again.
Right, but before that, let's go racing in the first place. So thank you so much, Bernd, and back to you.
Thanks, Verena. So, yeah, we won't put the washing out just yet to dry. Bernd Schneider, the 5-time champion, team managing now at Landgraf. Sebastian Roeder holds aloft the start your engines board. It does look a lot clearer now. We are getting set then to go racing for round 15 of the DTM Championship. And there is a driver who has had many ups and downs this season. 3 wins, some great drives, but a lot of bad luck as well. Had a rare mistake in the first race at the Red Bull Ring, crashing out from 2nd position, losing a potential 20 points. He's only 19 behind the champion now. Then, when running in the podium position on the Sunday, he had a puncture in the early stages of race 2 at the Red Bull Ring. More points lost. Had contact with Thomas Preining. More points lost at the Sachsenring. Here's Sven Stopper.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Green flag and leading car go.
Right. That's been a while coming, but we are about to get at least the cars underway, if not yet up to full racing speed. It's going to be a minimum of 2 laps behind the safety car. We're getting underway around about 25 minutes later than scheduled because of the pretty horrendous weather conditions that we had. Rain started around about an hour before the cars went to the grid, and as they were on the grid, as you saw, got very bad indeed. It's still going to be pretty treacherous out there, though, Brian, because, look, lots of standing water here, and that's the job now of the drivers behind the safety car to try and sweep away some of that from the racing line.
Yes, and of course, Sven Stopper, who we just saw on screen, will be monitoring the team radio as well. The drivers are going to be feeding back what the conditions are like, whether we are ready to go racing or not. But the visibility further back through the pack is going to be zero. Those rain lights that you saw flashing when they were stationary on the grid are going to be critical to see the car in front because the mist and the spray that is thrown up into the air. So not only are they trying to keep the car on the track in tricky conditions, trying to see where they're going, this is challenging the drivers to the absolute max.
Last week on Monday and Thursday, we had 2 private test days here. Now you have a limit this year of 5 test days that you can do as a driver, and some of them had used all their test days up, but there were quite a few, 10 of them, that came and did some testing. The reason I mentioned this here at Hockenheim is because all of the Monday and about half of the Thursday was wet. And so there are a few drivers out there, a few teams that have some useful data on wet conditions, although not all of them. It was Landgraf that had run out of Pirelli tyres, actually went around on Hankook tyres. But teams like Grasser managed to get out there. The Porsches, the Manthey got out there. The Landgraf Mercedes got out there and did some testing. And that could be something that factors in, because at least they've got a bit of a head start in terms of knowing how that track condition might feel.
Whenever you can, give me feedback about track condition.
Good. There's a bit of strength on the straight, so it will be gone when we drive.
Copy.
That sounds positive, doesn't it, from Maurice Schuring? So he feels as though they're going to move the water quite quickly. Of course, these wet weather tyres displace the water, hopefully moving it off the racing line and creating something of a racing surface.
Remember, top 15 will score points in the race. 20 points available, 25 points available for the race win. We've got Ben Green on pole position. It's been a while since we saw the grid, so I should probably remind you. Ben Green on pole position. Jack Aitken, 19 points now behind the championship lead, in 6th place in the standings, 2nd on the grid, but the Ferraris weren't testing here in the wet. Thomas Preining, 3rd on the grid in the Porsche. He's 5th in the championship. Ricardo Feller in the sole Audi that's out there for Land, involved in the championship fight 2 years ago, 4th on the grid. Maurice Schuring, you just heard from on Team Radio, the Porsche for Manthey, 5th on the grid in his first season. 6th on the grid, Gilles Magnus in the Come To You Aston Martin.
Going to be a lot of spray and very poor visibility, so maybe 1 more lap would be good.
Copy that.
I mean 3 laps in total, not 2 laps, 3 laps in total. At the moment it's a lot of spray.
Copy that, understood.
Yeah, and if somebody like Maro Engle, with all of his experience, tells you that, then you probably listen, don't you, Brian?
Yes, he knows what he's doing, doesn't he? You'll also notice we see Torsten Schubert looking on, that the clock is ticking. The race is effectively underway. A nice mug of tea, someone up here if you want. There's his driver, René Rast. You can see what the visibility is like. You can see how important those rain lights are. But the clock is ticking down, so the race is effectively underway, although clearly no overtaking behind the safety car.
So the championship leader, Lucas Auer, 7 points clear, but 17th in the field, 17th on the grid. Is René Rast.
A lot of standing water. So at the moment there will be 1 additional lap behind the safety car, and then I guess Sven is going to give the race free.
Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? So an extra lap, another one they're going to do, and then we'll get going. So yeah, that's 17th on the grid for Lucas Auer. Jordan Pepper, his nearest rival, is 13th on the grid, but I reckon will be one to watch in these wet weather conditions. René Rast, you just saw from 3rd in the championship. He is 9th on the grid, but he's always pretty pessimistic about the performance of the BMW in the wet weather conditions. It doesn't really suit it. It's also probably worth mentioning, Brian, that even in the dry, this track was a bit slippery, wasn't it, on Friday in particular, at the Sachs curve, which they're now about to go into as they come into the arena section. It's hard on the brakes there. They come into it, they whip through the Mobile 1 curve. In the dry, they're going through that at about 165 to 125 kilometers an hour. Then they stand on the brakes from 200 kilometers an hour to just 90 into turn 13, the Sachs curve. And there are a lot of drivers missing the apex and going through the gravel trap there.
And when you see the likes of Thomas Preining, Rene Rast, Ricardo Feller went off there as well. You see drivers of that caliber going into the fence there, you realise it is very, very slippery and very, very tricky. So yes, the Sachs curve, in these conditions, it's one they'll be tiptoeing around.
So confirmation that, as is always the case, you can have up to 2 laps added onto the race distance if laps are lost to a safety car, called joker laps. So the new race distance is 55 minutes plus 3 laps rather than plus 1 lap. What's the betting that some drama is going to happen in those additional 2 laps that we get right at the end of the race?
Well, it's in the script, isn't it? I mean, this is
oh, you
this
couldn't
is the
script
movie.
this.
This
you
is the movie.
Script any of this. It's been an incredible season, hasn't it? 7 different winners, which isn't even the most different winners we've had in the season. 14 different drivers on the podium, but it's ebbed and flowed every single day of the championship, and there's more drama to come. Absolutely no doubt about that. Right, we are having the safety car coming in at the end of this lap. Brian next to me is rubbing his hands. He can't wait. And it's a mixture of excitement and tension, and we're going to lose probably some drivers from this championship fight today. But I'm almost certainly it's going to go down to the wire tomorrow. You just got to, it's one of those days, Brian, you just kind of got to survive this, haven't you, if you're Lucas Sauer or Jordan Pepper or Rene Rast?
Yeah, get the thing to the end, get as many points as you can, stay out of trouble, stay on the track. This is a real white-knuckle ride all the way to the checkered flag.
Absolutely right. OK, then, Ben Green, who has had the longest ever pole position because he's been on pole for about 45 minutes now. His first ever pole position. He's there in the red Emil Frey Racing Ferrari. A 1-2 for the Swiss team. For what it's worth, they increased the BOP weight on those Ferraris after qualifying by another 10 kilograms and took away quite a bit of boost on them. But that might be less significant given the wet weather conditions that we've now got for this race. Jack Aitken, second on the grid, will be going full attack here. So, absolutely, 2 will Thomas Preining, the 2023 champion, who had a perfect weekend here 2 years ago to get both poles, both race victories, and win his first championship. He is going to be fighting tooth and nail for this. Then you've got others like Ricardo Feller, Maurice Skuring, Jules Magnus, not involved in the championship fight, just trying to have a good end to the season. Here we go, everybody. Brian Oliver and me, Chris Hartley, in the commentary box to talk you through the penultimate race of DTM 2025. We are now at racing speed, and Ben Green is the only one that can see the first corner with all the spray that's out there. Aitken follows him through in second, Preining in third, and then the Land Audi, Ricardo Feller in fourth. Maurice Skuring lights ablaze on the orange Porsche, holding on to fifth place in this single file start. It's now an exploration for the drivers. First time driving in the wet in these conditions at this speed after a couple of recce laps behind the safety car. So they're now driving on their feel and on their nerve and on their absolute pure skill, these drivers. Parabolica flat out in the dry this corner at 265 kilometers an hour. It's 160 miles an hour. Then look, you stand on the brakes for the slowest corner on the lap, the Spitzker, and Ben Green goes deep into the corner from the race lead, and Jack Aitken is going to get ahead of him. Maybe Thomas Preining's going to get through as well. All the way out off the road went Ben Green, but he at least held off the Porsche of Thomas Preining. So Aitken into the lead of the race. Ben Green down to second place. Tommy Preining now trying to get that position, that second place, as they go side by side, and the Porsche lights ablaze, gets his foot in. The Austrian's going to get the inside line for the right-hander to follow. He goes through and he gets himself up to second. So from pole position, Ben Green down to third place now. Now he can't see where he's going. He tries to have a look at the inside on the way to the Mobile 1 curve. Look at the puddles of water offline. If you go offline to overtake, you've got to be so careful. Aitken on the brakes, leading the race then, coming into the Sachs curve. Preining in second. Look at this battle for third place. Ben Green under attack now from the Land Motorsport Audi of Ricardo Feller, trying to get another podium, a third of the season. And then it's Maurice Skuring up next. but Jordan Pepper hasn't arrived in the arena section. He's just gone through the end of sector 2. So Jordan Pepper coming crawling into our view now from the commentary box in the Lamborghini, and he's going to go straight on through the Mobil 1 curver, try and cut the corner, and he's limping back to the pit. So drama for the driver, second in the championship. This was the change of lead down at the Spitzkehrer as Ben Green just understeered, went too quickly, couldn't slow the car down. He's the first one to get there and find there was no grip, and then he had this move on him done by Thomas Preining around the outside to get the inside line for the next turn. Preining up to second place. At the end of the first lap, Aitken leads, Preining is second, Green is third, Feller is fourth. That was a replay of off the road Jordan Pepper, but he's got an issue with that car because it's just now Brian limping into the pit lane.
Disaster for his championship hopes. So on the team radio, let's hear what happened.
Can you bring back the car, or you have to retire completely? I can bring back the car, but it's no way to continue.
So clearly a mechanical issue of some sort with the car. He comes back into the garage, but scoring points today looks like it's not going to happen. So exactly what he didn't need. What has been a poor weekend has gone from bad to worse. We're looking at a replay here. Hear what is going on to the inside. Was there contact with the McLaren?
Yeah,
or
clipped the right rear corner of the McLaren of Ben Dirt, tipped him into a 360 spin, then hit the wall the other side of the car. So, yeah, and it's damaged the car enough that it's gone straight into the garage and out of the race. And this weekend has never really got going, has it, for Jordan Pepper, with all the dramas that he's had?
No, as we listen to team radio with Lucas Auer.
I have the feeling I am really low on power. Yeah.
Lukey's 16th at the moment, so he's made one place up. That's only the place of Jordan Pepper. It's a significant one, granted, but he's not in the points yet, and he has finished the only driver to do this year in the points in every single race. Right, Jack Aitken looks in the mirrors and rolls his eyes, if he can even see the Porsche, because who is it? It's none other than Thomas Preining. They've had a few moments this year, those two, notably when battling for the lead of the race at the Sachsenring. Arjen Guwen is not third at the moment because he was all that benefited from their coming together to get that race win. He went from third to first in both races at the Sachsenring to get his double victory. So will Preining go for something here? Preining will also know, though, Brian, that his team, Manthey, are mega at pit stops and could easily gain, the way they did their pit stops, he could easily gain a second in a pit stop, couldn't he?
Yeah, he doesn't need to take big risks out on track as we head towards the hairpin now, under braking. Of course, a non-finish would be disastrous, so he needs to get the points and bring them home as Maurice Schering also goes deep into the corner. At the moment, he's looking quicker than Jack Aitken. The last time around, he was the quickest man on the track, Thomas Preining, so he's got the speed. Has he got the patience, or is he going to wait till the pit window opens?
Arjen Guwen having a big old battle there with René Rast, who's just behind him, and Maro Engle in the Mercedes, the blue gold Winward cart's just in front of him. They all went side by side through the hairpin at the Spitzkehrer, just making their way through that sequence of corners at turns 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11 at the moment.
Okay, try to find the rhythm,
Fabio Scherrer with more woes in the Ford Mustang's teammate Arjen Meiney is up in the points at the moment, running in 15th place, and a few top 6 finishes has Arjen. Fabio's had pretty much zero luck at that German Airways branded white Mustang as it is. So let's see if he can resolve the problem. Meanwhile, it looks ever so close at the front of the field coming out through the final turn. Start a new lap. Jack Aitken, Thomas Preining first and second. Ben Green in third. Ricardo Feller not quite as close in 4th place. Maurice Schering 5th. Gilles Magnus in 6th. Maro Engle, he's just in front of you. There you can see him. He's running 7th. You're on board with 8th. Arjen Guwen. René Rast is 9th. Timo Glock is 10th. Gilles Guwen on 11th. Ben Dirt 12th. Marco Wittmann has just got ahead of Mirko Bortolotti to move up to 13th. And then Arjen Meiney, the last of the point scorers at the moment, 15th. Lucas Auer has lost a place on that lap, back behind Luca Exler. So he's back to where he started, 17th.
And out of the points. Meanwhile, Jack Aitken has responded with the fastest lap of the race at 1:49.951. Ricardo Feller, quickest of anybody in Sector 1. We always knew he was going to be quick from there.
Right, Verina's got some news for us down in the pits.
And I'm here with Jordan Pepper, absolutely devastating, second in the championship, and the race ended so soon for you because of a collision. What exactly happened?
Yeah, I just had a small touch with Ben. I'll have to analyze and see what went wrong, but just right now I'm just, super disappointed. Sorry to my team. I mean, it's not what we wanted, not what we came here for. Yeah, with rain comes opportunity, but also obviously the risk, and just, yeah, unfortunately, was a small touch with him. I barely felt it, but it was enough to send me around. So.
Thank you very much, Jordan. Back to you.
Thanks, Verena. You just see how gutted Jordan Pepper is, and you understand why. He's put his heart and soul into this championship. He's dreamed of being in the DTM his whole life, really, his whole racing career. And he's done whatever happens this year, he's done a superb job, hasn't he, to even be in a position in his first season at such a level to be fighting for the championship. And it ain't over yet, because he's only 7 points behind Lucas Auer. Yes, others might be outscoring him today, but the championship leader isn't. He's still going to be in the hunt tomorrow. Pretty sure about that.
Yes, and with Lucas Auer so far back, in fact, out of the points at the moment, he's certainly very much in it. Now, Jack Aitken is very much under pressure. You can see Thomas Preining turning the heat up. I've also been looking at Anchan Nguyen, who's also looking very racy as well. Those Porsches are loving these conditions at the moment. You see Maurice Schöring, the third of the Porsches as well there around the outside. Anchan Nguyen, a little bit of contact with Maro Engle. Engle coming back at him. Has that opened the door for René Rast? No, it hasn't. Rast now ducks to the inside of Anchan Nguyen. So what looked like a move for position has seen him relegated back.
And would you believe it, after everything that happened in Austria, if it were to stay like this, Jack Aitken would be the championship leader on a Saturday night once again. But whisper it, because there's still nearly 40 minutes of race, or nearly 45 minutes of racing to go with the extra 3 laps added on. What a battle this is, though. Nguyen is on the attack in one moment, now he's on the defence, because here comes René Rast drawing alongside him, and you've got Maurice Schöring down the inside of Ben Green. Fella's already got past him, so the Audi and the Porsche are both getting on the Ferrari. Ben Green, the pole sitter, down to 5th place now, and look, we got a change of lead. Thomas Preining is ahead of Jack Aitken. He's got through as well. A terrible lap that, or a few corners even, for the Ferraris. Porsche's going on the attack. I would say as it dries up, but it ain't drying up at all. It's still hugely wet out there. Fella up to 3rd. Ben Green trying to fight back on Maurice Schöring for 4th place. The pit window opens in over 3 minutes, just to give us even more to try and think about. And there, René Rast is just about fending off Jules Gounon and his teammate Marco Wittmann, who are all 3 of them, these drivers, also involved in the championship fight. What a battle. Maro Engle, though, look, has got ahead of Gilles Magnus. At the start of this lap, Brian, he was all over the shop trying to defend Anchan Nguyen. He's actually ended up going through and gaining a place. So now it's Preining that leads, Aitken down to 2nd, Feller up to 3rd, Schöring up to 4th, Ben Green down to 5th, Maro Engle up to 6th place, 7th Magnus, 8th Timo Glock. Nguyen ended up down in 9th at the end of that lap, and then 10th is René Rast.
Wow, so much going on. Lucas Auer still pushing on as best he can, but he's still out of the points in 17th place. You saw a notification that the pit window is going to be opening very, very shortly. The incident between Anchan Nguyen and René Rast is under investigation. Right, this is where the lead changed hand. You can see Jack Aitken getting on the power on the exit of turn 8. Thomas Preining just got a load more grip on the wide outside, goes sailing around past the Ferrari. Jack really didn't have anything to defend with, and now René Rast, or that was that moment where he got together with Anchan Nguyen, that just allowed Timo Glock to come through as well. So a lot of door banging going on here in this stage of the race. The traction is so limited. But the incident between Anchan Nguyen and René Rast under investigation. But look at this. Thomas Preining's already opened up 1.2 seconds on Jack Aitken. He's got so much pace. Ricardo Feller into that 3rd place. Maurice Schöring up to 4th. Ben Green down to 5th. Then Maro Engle rounding out the top 6.
And by my maths, with that move for the lead of the race, it now means that Thomas Preining and Jack Aitken would both be on 172 points. And Lucas Auer, there he is, would be on 171. 1 point, oh, look, I worked the maths out right. 1 point between all 3 of them. Aitken has got the most wins. Now, this could well happen this season if there is a tie for the championship. You can't back who's got the most number of race wins. If they've both got the same number of race wins, who's got the most seconds? If that's the same, who's got the most thirds? So that's worth keeping an eye on. All those wins might just make the difference at the end. Jack Aitken's had 3 this season, and Thomas Preining's only had the 1 win at the Norrisring, which is why it's going to be Jack Aitken, as it stands, hanging on, or moving into, in other hands, the championship lead. He started today 6th in the points.
And if things remain as they are, we go into tomorrow's race with still about 8 drivers, I think it is, in the championship hunt. So it is going to be lively all the way to the last corner of the last lap, I think. At the moment, Preining has broken clear of Jack Aitken. They have both broken clear of Ricardo Fellow. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, fairly well spaced out. Then we're back to Gilles Magnus. Timo Glock having a good afternoon at the moment. So he is in 8th place, closing in on Gilles Magnus.
Yeah, looking for his best result of the season. Actually, as it stands, all 9 of them would still be in the championship fight tomorrow. Because I reckon, by my maths, and this is all unofficial, it'd be 24 points behind with 28 still available. René Rast now asks for a refund on his Ian Nguyen fan club membership.
Calm down, dear.
Apologies for the colourful language. You don't often hear René Rast getting irate on the team radio, do you? But he's not impressed, and he's got ahead of him anyway. 9th place, and this is how it happened. And this is maybe why he's grumpy. Yeah, got in contact, and they both went out wide and got passed by both of them by Timo Glock in the McLaren. Cheers, I'll have that. 2 places gained for not very much effort.
Ian Nguyen did get a black and white flag for that, for pushing and forcing another car off the track as his dad looks on. You might think, well, black and white flag, it is a warning, but it's kind of like a reprimand. You get too many of those and you are going to be in trouble. Look at Ricardo Feller, launches across the curbs. Not the first time we've seen the back end step out. Murray Engle doing a bit of drifting as well. All of these drivers, you can see how on the edge they are. There's Luca Engsler exploring downtown Hockenheim, I think. Right, pit window's open. Here comes Ben Deur. Here comes Thierry Vermeulen. So don't think we're going to be thinking about slick tyres anytime soon. So drivers pitting nice and early for their stop.
Yeah, Thierry trying something different as he has to do. So he comes in right at the top of the pit window. Ben Deur is going to stay just in front of him. So Ben Deur's stationary time, decent that, 8.2 seconds, but really good from Emil Frey. 7 seconds dead stationary time. Now, given that surely it's harder to be accurate at the pit stop when the rain's coming down, the wind's blowing, that's a really good pit stop for Thierry Vermeulen. It might pay dividends a bit later in the race.
Yeah, Jack's saying, yeah, you've had your rehearsal. I'm going to be coming in soon. Do it again. So, yes, we've seen it is a team sport, and we've seen races won and lost in the pits this year. So, a lot of pressure on these teams.
Oh, yeah, huge, absolutely huge, because it's not just the drivers that could win or lose the championship, it's the teams in these pit stops. 2 of them, remember, tomorrow as well. Look at this, Marco Wittmann. Oh, I thought BMW wasn't that good in the wet, René Rast said. Looks all right to me. He's all over Jules Gounon as they make their way through the Mobil 1 curve. He goes on the curbs, which is brave. He is brave, though, isn't he, Marco Wittmann? Because they'll be super slippery. And he can't quite find a way through as it stands. And then behind the pair of them is the reigning champion, Mirko Bortolotti, currently running in 13th place. So great battle going on here. There's another queue of cars there just ahead of them, which is being led by the Aston Martin and Gilles Magnus in 7th place. Maro Engle comes past the commentary box, having got past Ben Green. So Maro up to 5th place now. Of course, heavily involved in the championship fight, as Luca Engsler can see is coming into the pit lane from the commentary box, and Max Powell gambling with an early pit stop as well. So those two trying something different. Maro Engle, having just got past Ben Green on that lap, is already about a second clear of him as Max Powell comes into the pits.
And you'll have seen from your graphic that Ben Deur has got a penalty lap for spinning the wheels on the jacks. That's a big no-no, that one is. So he's going to have to visit the penalty box, which is on the exit of the hairpin. He's going to have to pass through that at no more than 50 kilometres an hour. That's going to be the equivalent to adding 5 seconds onto his lap time. So that's a disaster for Ben Deur.
Well, one thing's for sure, never give up in the DTM. Things change all the time. This is exactly what happened. So that's a big no-no in the DTM. A shame, because it was a pretty decent pit stop up until that point, but it just spun the wheels just before the car was dropped down off those hydraulic jacks. That'll be a place gain for Thierry Vermeulen when Ben comes and serves his run through the penalty zone. Tomic Preining now 3.4 seconds clear of Jack Aitken for the lead of the race, and it suggests that that track is starting to get a bit grippier, because they're all half of them have put their best laps of the race in so far, and an absolute best second sector for Thomas Preining on this lap. Jules Gounon still digging in deep here to try and fend off Marco Wittmann. And Jules Gounon could do without losing any places, really, because he's only just staying in the championship fight going into Sunday as it stands. This is the track where he made his debut 12 months ago. Look at Mirko Bortolotti. Two champions together here. The reigning champion trying to get around the two-time champion. And the Italian is almost around the outside of the German, but then he almost loses the back end coming through the final corner. The Lamborghini kicks on him. He holds on to it somehow with great reactions, but he does lose about 2 car lengths to Marco Wittmann. So Wittmann, the green BMW, remaining just ahead in 11th place. Ben Green into the pits then, a race that hasn't gone to plan so far.
Yeah, so the team get to work. Emil Frey, they've just done a quick stop. Can they do a quick stop here? So coming in nice and early, that's looked all clean. So off the jacks he comes. Out of the pits comes Ben Green. That was a stop, 7.5 seconds. So not bad, but Jack Aitken would like something a bit quicker than that when he comes in.
Well done, Krasser as well. Luke Rensler, 6.5 seconds. Fastest pit stop so far. That is pretty mega. Spoke to Luca before the race. He was pretty happy that the rain was going to give an opportunity, because he wasn't happy that the car was particularly quick as we get this replay of this battle in dry conditions. Of course, he went here last year ahead of that man, Mirko Bortolotti, trying everything, isn't he? Never gives up, Mirko. He might not be fighting for the championship title or race wins or podium, but he was giving it full beans there. And that is engine going, just driving around the outside of the Mercedes of Jules Gounon. So that puts him up to 9th place now. Gounon tries to come back at him as they make their way into the next section, but the Porsche has got the line covered off. So Engine getting his sleeves rolled up here, fighting for every single point, because these few points might make the difference come tomorrow. And look at this now, Marco Wittmann the next to go on the attack as he comes around the Mobil 1 curve. He's got his nose in front, he's got the inside line. They hit the brakes, turn left into the Sachs curve, and the BMW comes through. So Jules Gounon there in that yellow Winward Mercedes on the back foot a bit at the moment. That's 2 places lost in the space of half a lap.
Coming into this weekend, Jules Gounon indicated he'd be taking no prisoners, but it doesn't look like he's got the pace. Right, René Rast peeling off into the pit lane. Also coming into the pits as well is Mirko Bortolotti. Arjun Maini also peeling off into the pit lane as well for their mandatory stop. So now the teams will get ready to jump. Still, we've got the main leading cars all out on track, staying out at the moment, but they're going to have to come in the next 13.25 minutes.
Yeah, so it is René Rast, the next of the championship contenders, to come in. Rears change first, then front. 6 work on the pit stops. 1 holds the lollipop, 1 is in charge of the air jack. The other 4 work on the wheels in the pit stops. 1 holds the wheel, 1 puts it on, and then move from the rear to the front on either side of the car. For René Rast and Schubert, that looked like another decent pit stop. It was very good. 6.2 seconds stationary time, which means that René has got out and stayed out ahead of Ben Green. Replay of a late braking Engine Nguyen deep into the corner. So I think he started the lap actually ahead of Gounon. Then we joined in at this point where he was having the battle to get back ahead of the Mercedes, and it was Gounon that ended up losing out to the Porsche, and then, as we saw, to the BMW later on in the lap. So Gounon back down, well, at the moment, to 10th place, but with some of them behind him having already made their stop. And this is Thierry Vermeulen swapping a wing mirror with the Lamborghini of Max Powell. So no left wing mirror now on that Ferrari, just to make Thierry's life even more difficult. He's also got success weight on the car, 10 kilograms of it, for finishing second last time out, 20 kilograms for the win at the Red Bull Ring Race 2 for the Land Audi of Ricardo Feller. 10 on Thierry Vermeulen's car for finishing that race in second. And Lucas Auer's got 5 kilograms of weight on the car as well, because he finished third last time out, as Marco Wittmann now peels for the pit lane.
Look at that gap that Thomas Preining has. He's opened up 6/10 in just 1 lap. He is utterly dialed in. He's continuing to set fastest laps. His previous one was the fastest of the race by anybody. So Thomas Preining very much in control. Right, is that Lucas Auer coming in as well?
Lucas Auer is in, so they need a good pit stop, trying to help him out here, try and get something out of this race and stay in touch. The rears come off and move to the front. Air jack stays out of the way. As soon as they're ready, they pull the air jack out of that hole in the car, and that will release the hydraulics. Down on the ground goes the car. So there to the right of the picture is your leading pit stopper, the blue BMW of René Rast. Then Ben Green in the Ferrari, second of the pit stoppers. Wittmann will come out third of the pit stoppers. And then Auer, I think, maybe 5th, 4th. Yeah, because the next 2 come through as well. Now, normally, dry conditions, because there's no tyre warmers allowed in the DTM, it takes them about a lap to get the slick tyres up to temperature, but it's a different kettle of fish in the wet, isn't it?
Yes, so the wet weather tyres, which of course have grip in, as we see Arntzen Nguyen now going wheel to wheel with Jules Magnus. But with the treaded tyres in the wet conditions, it's an entirely different ball game. So they'll probably get more grip quicker than they would do on a slick tyre.
Yeah, relatively. So René Rast, Ben Green, the first two of the pit stoppers. Bortolotti was in that mix as well in the background. So he came in and had a decent pit stop, 7.4 seconds. And I reckon he's going to be up the order once this all settles down. He was battling, what was he, 13th place, battling for 13th as Nicola Bart goes off the road in the Come To You Aston. Look how muddy it is if you go off-road. That's how much rain we've had here in the last hour and a half. Jack Aitken comes in then, trying to end Saturday as the championship leader. This has got to go absolutely right for him. Emil Fry, 2 really good pit stops so far for his teammates. Off the Jackson he's dropped, and that's good, yeah, 7.3 seconds. Land come in now for Ricardo Feller. So where is René Rast? He's just at turn 16. I can see from the commentary box he's about 3-4 car lengths clear of Ben Green. Then Mirko Bortolotti is third of the pit stoppers from Luca Engstler, from Marco Wittmann. So Bortolotti and Engstler are the two big gainers, I reckon, in this pit stop phase as it stands. So Aitken comes out as the leading pit stopper. Feller comes out next. But you're going to have the next group battling after them, and this is going to be Nicola Bart's big twitch. The car back end went away from him, and it sort of overcorrected, didn't it, and oversteered off the road through that left-hander. And the moment he got on that, I was going to say grass, Brian, but there ain't a lot of grass left. It's just a swamp, isn't it, down there?
Mud racing. I've just been watching him out the window. He's got the car going, and he's just moving slowly now back towards the pit. So we're not going to need his safety car, which Thomas Preining will be very happy about, having built up an 11.7 second lead. Having said that, Maurice Scheuring has just taken a tenth or so out of that, but very much in control is Thomas Preining.
Yeah, René Rast's another one, isn't he, that's definitely going to be up the order compared to pre-pit stops. So coming into turn 10 at the moment, Jack Aitken in the Ferrari, the leading pit stopper, then Ricardo Feller, then René Rast, then it's Ben Green, and there's a gaggle of cars together squabbling over 5th place. Luca Engstler in that mix, Mirko Bortolotti, Marco Wittmann, and Lucas Auer in the mix there as well. So Auer could be in the points again once this all settles down, once they've all made their pit stops. And any points will do, won't they?
Yes, and that's why he's leading the championship, because even on a bad day, he's picking up points, and that's what he needs to do here. So just plugging on, that's Timo Glock with Nicky Tim just behind him, so they are yet to stop as well. That's 6th and 7th place running together.
Yeah, and Maro Engle's going to be one to watch in this. He's already made good progress. He's running 3rd on the road at the moment. There he is, behind Thomas Preining and Maurice Scheuring. And we know that Winwood are excellent at their pit stop, so he'll be feeling pretty confident about that as well. 4th is Nguyen, 5th is Gunon, 6th is Glock, 7th is Nicky Tim now, yet to make their pit stops. The leading 7 drivers, Jack Aitken in 8th, the leading driver to have made a pit stop ahead of Feller, Rast, who are 9th and 10th. Ben Green 11th, has made a pit stop. Gilles Magnus has been in the pits now as well. He's 12th place as it stands.
Lucas Auer on slick tyres and Ricardo Feller. Now, I did not believe I would see that. If our graphic is correct, then the team down at Team Landgraf have rolled the dice big time, putting Lucas Auer onto slick tyres. Thierry Vermeulen back in as well.
So has he switched to slicks? Because he's already been in, hasn't he, Thierry Vermeulen?
Yes.
So I reckon he might have gone on slicks as well.
Interesting.
Didn't see it, but I reckon that's probably what's happened. Otherwise, he's had an issue. But why would you come in again unless it was to try? But so much water out there. It's a massive gamble, this, isn't it?
Very, very brave. And for the championship leader, if they've put him onto slick tyres, he is going to really be driving with his fingertips. As we have a replay on board with Marco Wittmann on Luca Engstler. So that's heading in towards the chicane, into the hairpin, isn't it? And on the wide outside, well, Luca Engstler's got that covered off.
Maro Engle, I can see, has just come into the pits from 3rd place, 4th in the standings coming into this race, and it's going well for Maro. Still yet to get a race victory in the 2024 season. Eric Harr there with the helmet cam frantic, isn't it? Absolutely frantic. But away goes Maro Engle, and Maro from Windward, not quite as good as normal, actually. 8.1 seconds for the stationary time. So Aitken comes through your shot, remains the leading pit stopper. There, then coming through next is the second of the pit stoppers, Ricardo Feller. Then it'll be Engle. For now, third of the pit stoppers, but if he looks in the mirror in a moment, he'll see a gaggle of cars bearing down the Podium pretty quickly, led by René Rast, who's going to be the fourth of the pit stoppers, then Ben Green, fifth. Just looking at the time, so through Lucas Auer, on that graphic, it said slick tyre, didn't it? Now, Lucas Auer's first sector time was a 24.3, which is kind of matching what everybody else is doing, or most of the others are doing. And through the second sector on that lap, 49.2, again, which is matching others. So it feels like he's on the same tyre as others. So I'm not sure if there's maybe a issue with the transponder there, but would be surprised. I mean, the cars aren't exactly dancing around. Ricardo Feller looked planted through turn one.
Thierry Vermeulen, I think that graphic that we saw, that picture, just as we look here at a battle into the hairpin, coming into there with Marco Wittmann in the background behind Luca Engstler and Gilles Magnus as well. From the hairpin, the drag race side by side towards turn 7 and 8. But we saw the picture in the pits, and it looked like there was a puncture on the Thierry Vermeulen tyre. You saw Pavel, one of the Emil Frey Racing team, just looking. You could see the bubbling around the tyre, and I think that Vermeulen might have been in because he had a puncture. Yeah, I agree.
So in comes now Arjen Nguyen from fourth place, well, third place on the road. So he comes in. Preining stayed out, Skuring stayed out. Manthey are going late. They're going deep into the pit window with Preining and Skuring. This is their first of 3 pit stops then for Manthey. Remember, they lead the team's championship as well. You've got that to try and deal with, try and think about as well. Rears changed, then fronts as the Jackman pulls out the nozzle and drops down the Turkish driver, and the stationary time was just 6.8 seconds. He's going to come out around about René Rast, look, isn't he? So this is going to be fourth, effectively a net fourth place for Arjen Nguyen, just in between Maro Engle and René Rast, with Ben Green in the background there, dropping time at the moment. The track is definitely drying. It's still wet, still damp in places, but there's not much spray at this part of the circuit on the first couple of corners, as Lucas Auer there gives us team radio.
It's quicker than the guys ahead. You can make something here. We're P16 at the moment.
So encouraged on by his race engineer, Lucas Auer. Wittmann's been into the pits now, and that was for a second time. So what's he done with tyres? Has he had an issue, or has he gambled on a slick? Let's find out. We'll be able to tell, I think, on the times, but surely it's too wet to go on a slick tyre still.
Yeah, there's no hint of any dry lines appearing out on the pit straight at the moment. I mean, you can see there out of turn 16 and 17 as Maurice Schuring now from second place peels off into the pit. So he will be buoyed by the speed of a Manthey EMA pit stop. So for the Manthey junior team, he comes in keeping to the speed limit. He'll see his team up ahead of him, who'll be waiting to receive him in just a few moments. Still, Thomas Preining, he's got 2 3/4 minutes before he'll need to come in. He's got an open track in front of him. He's got the fastest lap of the race, so he's not in any hurry, but the Manthey junior team get to work. So rear tyres first, and then switch to the front. It's all looking very smooth at the moment. Released off the jacks, that looked like a very good stop for Maurice Schuring.
And into us comes Jules Gounon, 9th in the championship. That was a bit sticky though, wasn't it? And was 7.1 seconds stationary time, but took a while to get underway, that one. So those two joined the battle once again. Rast is now ahead of Nguyen as I see them come through in their battle, and Skuring has come out just in front of Ricardo Feller, but will he be able to keep Ricardo behind, because he's still got cold tyres and they're still going to be slippy. So here comes the chance for Ricardo Feller to get ahead of Maurice Schuring, and he gets his nose through on the way through the parabolica, gives a face full of spray to the young Dutch driver. That is the lack of visibility that you get, and even though that line is beginning to dry out, they're still going to be careful on the brakes here. Bit deep into the corner for Ricardo, brake really late, had to, but he just about scrambles it together.
7 tenths quicker at the moment, 7 tenths. Sorry.
encouraging for Jack Aitken. Yeah, he's getting away from this battle. So Aitken is the leading pit stopper. These two are second and third of the pit stoppers. Thomas Preining, I can see, is coming into the pits from the commentary box. So the last to make his pit stop with just over a minute to go. So he comes down the pit lane. Jack Aitken is just at the Sachs curve at the moment, coming into that left-hander now. And Thomas Preining is having to wait, hits the mark, and lets his team now do the rest at Manthey. All good so far. Sparks fly from the Jack there, and drop down. Thomas Preining, 8 seconds stationary time. This is going to be pretty tight, I think. We'll look in the background. Preining comes out, still in the lead. Then it should be the lights of the Ferrari. Past the commentary box he comes, over the start-finish line. Jack Aitken, second, still a fair way behind Thomas Preining, but quite a way clear of Ricardo Feller, who's basically going to be in third place now once this all settles down. And Jules Gounon going slowly. Infringement under investigation, but also a big problem.
If you damage something, we have to stop. Anyway.
Yeah.
And again, apologies for the fraught language, but Jules Gounon's given it everything this year, and it hasn't quite happened. So he is looking like he's going to be, I'm afraid, a retirement, which would drop him out of the championship fight going into tomorrow. But I was also under investigation with the pits. Are the two related, I wonder? Is this to do with the pit stop? Is there something wrong with one of the wheels?
Yes, well, we're going to have a look here. This is a replay of the stop, so everything good at the moment. He came in, car up on the jack, so the rears, that looked all smooth from what I could see.
It was a bit. This was okay. Then it was a bit sticky, wasn't it? I had to wait. Yeah. That front left was the issue.
Yeah, but there was nothing that looked to me like an infringement, but it was an unsafe release is what he was reported for. So that's entirely different. So it looks like the investigation's not related to him going slowly, and certainly this is going to knock him out of the championship hunt.
I'm afraid so. It will help Lucas Auer move up a place. So Lucas 13th now. He is in the points where he always is this season. So he's made some progress through that pit window. Thomas Preining, though, is your race leader. Jules Gounon's going to try and cross the track now, get off that very slippery drag strip there, which Marco Wittmann had to spin there yesterday. Even in the dry, it's pretty treacherous. You've got to be super careful in the wet if you go wide coming out of turn 16. There is the gap that he's got. It was about 4 seconds before the pit window. It's bigger than that now, I reckon. Aitken comes through, yeah, 8.4 seconds. Look at that, we've raised over 52,000 euros for race laps for wells in Africa, where BWT Best Water Technology, yeah, it is the front left that's the problem, and the ADAC donate €4 to try and help cleaner water for countries in Africa.
It's
every
not
lap left. Yeah, that was the unsafe release bit. Now, that was why I was going so slowly. I thought as much.
Yeah.
And there goes the wheel. It becomes completely detached to the car now. And that pit stop has done for him. And exactly what we were saying, Brian. It is also down to what happens in the pits that can make or break your championship fight.
And you saw from the helmet cam how much pressure. It's all got to be done really quickly. So I was having another look here. So they got the wheel on all right. So let's just have a look. That's the front going on there, but he was still had the wheel gun attached, and you could see the mechanic knew straight off that there was something wrong, didn't he? And he almost made it back to the garage, just absolutely at the end. The wheel parts company, 3 wheels on the wagon. Jules Gounon to the garage.
Yeah, I guess that's going to be frowned upon as well, isn't it? That wheel becoming detached in the pit lane. Ben Durr, yeah, I just noticed that, came into the pits. Now, is this a problem, or is he having a gamble? I think it's a problem, because he was stationed for 33 seconds. Oh, no, pit time was 33 seconds. Standing time, 7. I was just wondering if maybe down the order he might be gambling with a slick tyre. Here is Thomas Preining. I mean, the lap times are still in the 148s. Now, 148s were what they're doing in the wet qualifying last year, and they've only just got down to those sorts of times. So it is still pretty wet out there, I would say, and I'm sure it would be a massive gamble to go for slicks at this stage. Look at that lead. Beautiful, isn't it, for Thomas Preining? The whole straight length clear, basically, of Jack Aitken, who's there in second place. Third place, Ricardo Feller, looking for, wait for it, a second consecutive podium after his win last time out at Spielberg. And then Maurice Skuring looking for his best finish yet, 4th. He wants a podium. He absolutely wants a podium, Maurice Skuring. And he is going to fight tooth and nail now with Ricardo Feller for the remaining 11.5 minutes plus 3 laps of this race.
And on that last lap, Ricardo Feller took about a second out of Jack Aitken as Maurice Skuring's on team radio.
We are going for a podium here. Everyone has done their pit stop. We are on P4,
Feller is for the podium.
I'm giving everything back.
Yeah, I'm giving everything. Like he's going to give anything less. So, yes, Maurice Schuring looking for his first ever podium in DTM and into the hairpin. Once again, you can see him closing in on the Audi under braking. What would you say is an aging Audi R8, proving, as was the case at the Red Bull Ring and here at Hockenheim, that there is life in the Audi still very rapid in that podium position. But Maurice Schuring closing in, feels like on every corner.
And time now to go down to Verena in the pit lane.
And I'm here with Jules Gounon. Jules, you were fighting in the championship, and now, unfortunately, what a disaster. I mean, it looks like one of your wheels wasn't fixed. I don't know, what was it exactly, what happened?
Yeah, the front left wheel was not tight, but it's in the following of my season. To be fair, I would have never expected to be in a fight. I was not ever in a fight. I was 29 points behind. You have to be realistic. But my season was really chaotic. We faced a lot of issues, so now it's trying tomorrow to have a good one and really focus for next year to focus on the details, to not have a season like that again. It's like that. I have no word.
Thank you very much, Jules. Back to you.
Yeah, really unlucky for Jules Gounon, a hugely talented driver, and I hope he comes back for another crack at it next year. His personal pit stops this year have averaged 7.3 seconds, so normally really good in the pits, just not to be today. Now, because he has ended up in the points, Lucas Sauer, in fact, he's moved up a couple of places there again on that lap to, well, the last two laps to 12th place now. So he's regaining the championship lead with this somehow. How's he doing this, Lucas Sauer? So now 12th place, 4 points. That would put him on 175 points, 3 points clear of Jack Aitken on 172, and Thomas Preining also on 172, with Jack still just ahead of Tommy on number of race wins. It would be 3-2 as it stands. So 3 points between them, but Jack Aitken and Thomas Preining will absolutely take that, wouldn't they, coming into the final day of the season.
And of course, tomorrow, the first three will have success ballast on board as Nicky Tim and Ben Green go wheel to wheel. So this is for 8th place. Ben Green has him covered off at the moment, but Nicky Tim, we saw him earlier on, fairly wild around the corner. Also see him searching for wet patches on the track, trying to dry the tyres, trying to cool them as well, and then into the left-hander to the inside, comes sweeping past. Ben Green didn't really look like he had anything to defend with, but yes, the drivers now with those wet weather tyres looking for the puddles to try and cool them down, to try and make them last for another 8.5 minutes plus 3 laps.
How about this from Abden, Nicky Tim, 8th place. He was 23rd on the grid. I mean, he actually qualified last, but 23rd because of that disqualification in quali for the underweight car of... as we see Timo Glock going slowly, looked like he got a problem, of Thierry Vermeulen. So from 23rd to 8th for Nicky Tim. But Timo Glock's race, which had been looking good, might be about to come to an end, I think. You're on board then with Lucas Auer at the moment, running in 12th place, hanging on to the championship lead. And his championship lead has never been massive, has it? Most of the time it's been single figures. Sometimes it's been 1 point, sometimes 2. 3 it would be at the moment. It was 7 coming into the weekend. But this is still going okay for him. On board with Marco Wittmann, who's at the points at the moment as well. And there was some contact. And that was Marco Wittmann going out wide, coming past him then, where Mirko Bortolotti and Luca Engstler have now switched positions, actually, because we see on this shot, Mirko is ahead of Luca, but as they came over the line, Luca was ahead of Mirko for 10th place.
Ooh. Now this is Ricardo Feller for 2nd place on the inside of Jack Aitken. Also Maurice Schuring in there as well. Aitken, a wide line around the corner. He's on the dry racing line at the moment, but Ricardo Feller trying to hang it around the outside. He's got his nose in front. He's into 2nd place, and suddenly Jack Aitken's 3rd place is looking vulnerable. He comes back. He goes to the inside. All 3 cars running nose to tail. Jack Aitken ducks to the right, has a little look, but Ricardo Feller wrestling that 2nd place, wrestling points away from Jack Aitken, heading towards the tricky Sachs curve. But Ricardo Feller in the Audi, muscling past Jack Aitken, and now he's got his mirrors full of another Porsche. This time, it's Maurice Schuring.
Looking out of the window, I can see René Rast, 6, coming into the Sachs curve, all over him, the green Porsche of Ian Nguyen. So they're having a massive scrap for 6th and 7th positions, just coming into the penultimate corner. So I think we'll see a bit of that in a moment. But Ricardo Feller Brilliant. Up to second place now. This is annoying, isn't it, for Jack Aitken? These two drivers either side of him are not involved in the championship fight. Thudding the curb on the inside of the Nord curve. There was the Ferrari, and that unsettles the car a little bit, which seems to be struggling as the track becomes greasy and damp rather than wet now. And Maurice Skuring, he's not interested at all in finishing fourth in this race, even though it would be a tremendous result for him. When you are that close to a podium, and there's just one car in between you and your first silverware in the DTM, you've got to go for it, haven't you? And he will go for it, I'm sure. But can he find a way past Jack Aitken, who has to make that a very wide Ferrari now for the last 6 minutes plus 3 lap of this race, because he needs the points. But here comes Maurice Skuring, flicking from the right to the left, goes wide, tries to get back on the gas a bit earlier now as they come out of the Spitzkehrer, but Jack Aitken saw it coming, has enough momentum to go up ahead into turn 7. The Ferrari hanging on at the moment to those 16 points and third place. Aitken would be third in the championship now behind Preining and Auer. As it stands, it'll be 2 Austrian drivers, first and second, going into tomorrow's title fight. In fact, Rast is ahead of him now, because Rast moving on to 170 points with that 6th place that he's got. Aitken fourth, still better off, though, than he was at the start of the day. And if it stayed like this, Brian, at the start of the day, there were 7 points between the top 2. Tomorrow, there's going to be 7 points between the top 4.
The season opener next year is in Austria. Right now, Maurice Skuring to the inside in the Sachs Curver, under braking Jack Aitken. On the wide outside, you see the back end sliding, trying to find the traction, but Maurice Skuring through into a podium position.
Absolutely. So Skuring goes through. Aitken, though, coming back at him on the way through turn 17, trying to use the curbs to get on the gas quicker, to no avail, though. There goes the Porsche, just leaves him behind as they go up through the gears. And this a replay at the moment that he lost that second place to the Land Motorsport Audi. Trying to hang on at the inside here and did a brave job. Made it very hard, but it was very fair as well, wasn't he, Jack Aitken there with Ricardo Feller. Remember, the two of them came together at the Nürburgring, a very rare coming together involving Ricardo Feller. And yeah, he said, well, I can't really do anything about you there. You've got the traction around the outside. He went, and then the moment that you just saw, Maurice Skuring moving into a podium position on the curbs. Through the puddles went the Ferrari. No traction compared to the Porsche. And Manthey, very happy indeed. They've now got a 1-3-6 finish on their hands, with Preining leading, Skuring up to third, and Guwen in 6th place, because he has got ahead of René Rast. He was breathing down his neck. He's now ahead of him. So that takes a point away from René. Instead of getting 10 points, he's going to get 9 points now. And you just think these odd points here and there, how much of a difference, a huge difference, are they going to make when we get to tomorrow? So now he's only 1 point clear of Jack Aitken for third in the championship. Preining, though, gives us some team radio.
Perfect job. We just carried this home. Good job.
Copy.
How calm is that?
Yeah, very calm. Well, you'd be calm if you had a 14.6 second lead in this race with 3 1/4 minutes remaining. I mean, that is astonishing, really.
As his dad, Andy, former motorcycle Grand Prix racer, has been with him every step of the way. He's Montpetra here as well. They've been here before. He's won here before. He's become the champion here at this track before, 2023. And now he's giving himself a real chance going into the last day of the season. He would be just behind Lucas Auer, because he looks for all the world like he's on course for a second win of the season. Thomas Preining nearly 15 seconds clear now of Ricardo Feller in second, Maurice Skuring in third, Jack Aitken fourth, Maro Engle in 5th place. His last lap time was a 1:48.5, which was the same more or less as Jack Aitken. So Jack looks secure at the moment in 4th. Guwen in 6th place last time around, though, did a 1:47.9, quicker than Engle, quicker than Aitken. Rast out of 7th, Tim in 8th from the back of the grid, Enks the 9th, Green from pole, 10th place, Bortolotti 11th, Auer 12th. You're on board with him now, still wrestling the wheel. Magnus 13th, Miney 14th, Calendar in the points in 15th.
As a point of curiosity, Ben Durr has been quickest in Sector 1 for the last 3 laps consecutively. So purple's in Sector 1. So if he is on slick tyres, they may be coming on, but I think it's a little too late at the moment. We are less than 2 minutes remaining plus 3 laps of this race. We ride on board with Lucas Auer. I'd say 12th place is a little bit better than damage limitation, to be quite honest, because that will be some good points considering where he started from, considering the conditions. But Thomas Preining coming up to just under 15 seconds clear of Ricardo Feller. Maurice Scheuring looking for his first ever podium.
You do all these laps of racing, you do all these test days, you do all these miles travelling from country to country, you do all these practice sessions, you qualify, you race, you give it your all, and it's all going to come down to 1 hour of racing tomorrow, essentially, this whole championship. What a season it has been in the DTM. Everybody I speak to, when they say, what are you doing this weekend, Chris? I'm commentating on the DTM. Did you know, by the way, there are 9 drivers that could win the championship? And every one of them has gone, what? 9 drivers. Yeah, 9 drivers that could all win the championship. There'll be fewer tomorrow, but what a wide open year it has been. And we've still got zero clue which way this is all going to go when we get to the end of Sunday. Aitken's still trying, he's still having to, because 4th place starting to become under threat now, with Maro Engle getting a bit closer in the mirrors. The gap from Aitken's Ferrari to the Mercedes of Engle just 1.4 seconds, and Guan just set a personal best lap of the race, was 0.6 quicker than both of them. So Guan coming in the background as well. You'll see this, I mean, it's not exactly stealth like that bright green Porsche, is it? Lights ablaze, he is coming, and he won't give up till the end of the race.
I think Jack Aitken will be pleased to see the checkered flag here, because 4th place is about as good as it's going to get, and it looks like he's struggling for grip with that Ferrari. Maro Engle, man on a mission, in 5th place, closing in on him. But yeah, that is the view that Maro Engle, well, that's looking at him, that's the view out of the front window as they head out of the hairpin and out towards turns 7 and 8.
There's two ways of telling Maro Engle where he is in the championship. You can either say, Maro, you're going to go into tomorrow 5th in the championship, and he goes, or you could say, but you're only 9 points behind the championship win. And he goes, oh, okay, I'm in it. And he absolutely is, isn't he? So what a championship this is going to be. There'll be 12 points between the top 7 as it stands. Marco Wittmann, 25 points adrift in 8th place, will still mathematically be in the fight, at least going into qualifying tomorrow morning as well. But this is not done yet. Maro Engle wants another position, wants more points here. And it's 2 points gained as well for him, and 2 fewer for Jack Aitken if he gets the job done. 13 points for 4th, 11 points for 5th. And Guan is desperately trying to catch them up in the background as well. Oh. But yeah, that Ferrari's struggling. The drier the track gets, isn't it? And Maro Engle now looming large. 2 laps to go. The time has run out. We've done one of the extra laps already. Jack Aitken, rear-facing camera through the Nordkurve, trying to just keep that Ferrari on the racing line at the moment and fend off Maro Engle, because if he loses a place here and he ends up losing the championship by 2 points, then he'll always look back on this as an opportunity missed, won't he? So he's got to fight for it. He's really got to dig in, but it's going to be hard work because he's in the slower car at the moment. There's no doubt about it. That Mercedes is coming for him strongly now. And Maro Engle, flat through the Parabolica, starts to see that there might be a chance to get through on the way into the Spitzkehre. He's down the inside. Can he slow the car down in time? Engle's gone for it. A brave move, and he's got his nose in front. He's kept the line tidy. He's up to 4th place, and Jack Aitken drops down to 5th and loses another couple of championship points, whereas Maro gains them.
Jack Aitken's also been given a black and white flag for track limits, so that's proof that he's running out of grip with that Ferrari. So he's lost that position. We're having another look at it here. Maro Engle ducks to the outside, then back to the inside on the right-hand side into the hairpin, under braking. Jack Aitken tries to cut back to the inside, but there's no way he was going to go back inside the Mercedes. So job done for Maro Engle, up into 4th place.
Yeah, and up into 4th place in the standings with that move as well, ahead of Jack Aitken. So he'll be on 168 now, 175 for Auer, 172 for Preining, 169 for Rast, 168 now for Engle, and 163 for Aitken. So sort of almost back down to where he started in terms of the championship now. He started 6th, he's 5th in the points, Jack Aitken, but he's way close. He's 21 points adrift of the championship leader coming into the weekend. He will be 12 points adrift going into tomorrow, so it's still absolutely to play for. Right, what can Guan do though? Can he take more points away from Aitken? I said he's been charging, he's been flying. He's got one more lap to try and find a way through here. And Irongen is absolutely flying at the moment relative to the Ferraris, quicker than the Mercedes as well. But you can only get one of these places now in the time that remains. Down at the Spitzkehre is the race leader, Thomas Preining, who's just lapped Nicola Bart's Aston Martin. He's 15 seconds clear of Ricardo Feller. Maurice Scheuring is looking for a podium finish. but there could be more points changing hands here, because down into the hairpin, you're right on board with Ayhan Nguyen. This, the battle for 5th place. Jack Aitken in the Ferrari, just ahead of him. They break, they go side by side. The Porsche trying to go around the outside of the Ferrari. He's alongside, but he goes a bit deep and a bit wide into the corner. Jack Aitken gets him back as they accelerate out now. Here comes Ayhan Nguyen, though, with the inside line next up for the right-hander. He's got to make the move now. He's got the dry line. Out onto the wet stuff goes Jack Aitken, and Jan is through up to 5th place. And so Jack Aitken down to 6th now, loses another potential championship point, and Jan, of course, is still in the fight. His teammate Thomas Preining is about to come into the last couple of corners of the lap now. Preining with just a nice sedate end to the race here. It's still pretty tight for 2nd place, though. Here comes the race leader, and onto the final lap he now goes, just 4.5 kilometres. It should be a breeze for him, but what about 2nd? It is pretty close between the Audi and the Porsche. They're about to come into the final turn. Lights ablaze for the orange Porsche. There it is, of that young man, Maurice Skuring, doing a fantastic job here. He's already on a podium. Could he be onto the 2nd step? It looks good for him, doesn't it?
I've been watching him over the last few laps, just taking chunks out of Ricardo Feller. You can see the grip is starting to fail on the Audi at the back. Maurice Skuring has a little look to the left-hand side, to the right-hand side, but he's going to get a great opportunity out of turn 2, out along the Parabolica. They will come in a few moments. He will get something of a slipstream. Lots of bravery required as they go flat out now around this corner. Then it's up towards the hairpin. Is Maurice Skuring going to make a challenge potentially on the outside into this corner? Ricardo Feller will be ready for it on the final lap of the race. This is Maurice Skuring's probably last opportunity to get past Ricardo Feller. Has a look to the outside, but Feller has him covered off.
For now, still half a lap of this to try and deal with, though. Good job done, though, by the Swiss driver. You've got that space still to deal with for Maurice Skuring at parts of the circuit here. He makes his way through turn 7 into turn 8, closes up again under braking, thinks about it, but does he risk it? Does he risk 3rd for 2nd, or does he just go, okay, it's good, it's a podium, it's a start to my podium career in the DTM, but he knows he's quicker and the temptation is there. Ricardo Feller is having to dig deep, work really hard to keep him at bay. In the background, Maro Engle is still only just clear of Ayhan Nguyen. They come then into the Sachs Curve for the final time here, side by side. Maurice Skuring trying to get up to 2nd place. Here comes, though, Thomas Preining, a race win once again here at Hockenheim to throw himself right into the thick of the championship fight.
Very good job. We are P2 in the championship, just 3 points down. Everything to play for tomorrow.
Absolutely, music to his ears, and it's nose to tail coming out of the last corner. Maurice Skuring is going to give it one last push to the checkered flag. Almost a photo finish, but Ricardo Feller by 1/10 of a second hangs on to 2nd place. Skuring in 3rd. Engle has held on to 4th place, 5th place for Ayhan Nguyen, 6th place for Jack Aitken. When he dropped behind Ayhan Nguyen, he dropped behind Ayhan, and I think Jordan Pepper in the points as well too, but it's going to be such a tight fight. We kind of knew that, didn't we? But it's going to be even tighter than I think even we anticipated. Lucas Hauer has somehow pulled a few points out of the bag here, and somehow he hasn't even lost the championship lead, despite the fact he started the race 17th on the grid. The team did a good job, didn't they? Kind of made the most of a bad situation with their timing of their pit stop. Lukey's done a decent job, and once again, for the 15th time out of 15 this year, he has scored championship points in 12th place. He'll have a 3-point lead over Thomas Preining.
Yes, mate. What a drive. Congrats. What a nice race.
And Ricardo Feller wishes, Brian, the season was starting now. He's the form driver, isn't he?
He's the man with the momentum at the moment, but hats off to Maurice Skuring. We said to him at the beginning of the season, he said, if I finish on the podium, you've got to pronounce my name as you would in Dutch. So Maurice Skuring, congratulations on your first podium. I will never try that again.
10 out of 10 for effort, probably about 2 out of 10 for execution.
Yes.
Leading the championship, 3 points ahead of Preining, 6 ahead of Rust, 7 ahead of Maro. Job today. Pace was good when you weren't clearly air. Other than that, we have to see. We're just a bit inconsistent today.
It's good enough to keep the championship lead. And if you said to any one of these drivers at the start of this season, look, this is how it's going to go. You'll get to the last day of the year, you'll be in the championship lead by 3 points. They'll all say, yes, please, I'll take that. So it's all about tomorrow. today, yesterday, none of that matters. Just tomorrow, just the here and now when they get to the final race of the season. Qualifying to come before that. That's going to be a nerve jangler tomorrow morning as well. But well done, Maurice Skuring, your first ever DTM podium.
Fuck, mate, that was close, that was close. P3, but mega job, mega race. Thanks a lot. That's your first DTM podium, mate.
He has looked on it all weekend, hasn't he? From the word go in free practice, Maurice Skuring. And a double podium for Manthey as well, boosting their chances with this team's championship now. A real fight for Jack Aitken, but the pace of the car just wasn't there at the end.
Still in the game, mate. You did a good race, and try again tomorrow. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Well, he's got the gap from 21 down to 13 points, so in that sense, all good, but it promised a bit more than that race, didn't it, for 2/3 of it at least.
Yeah, it was just in that final third of the race where he just lost all the grip, seemed to lose all the pace. And Ben Green, our pole sitter as well, finishing in 10th place, Thierry Vermeulen in 19th. So the Engle Racing Ferraris struggling in the latter part of the race. Certainly not the case for the Manthey EMA Porsche as Thomas Preining climbs from the car, goes to congratulate his junior teammate Maurice Skuring on that first podium. A fairly dominant performance with Ian Nguyen in that 5th place as well. Certainly the weapon of choice in these conditions here today, and there you can see the confirmation of the points as things stand at the moment.
I'm just trying to do some quick maths on the team's championship as well. My quick workings out are correct. 43 points between Manthey and Schubert with 45 available, so it's still just alive. Winwood and Emil Frey have dropped out of it mathematically now, but I think Manthey can't quite celebrate the championship yet in terms of the teams, but that is unofficial and provisional, and it's from a man who did a maths exam about 30 years ago, so take it as you will, but I think that's the situation. Either way, fantastic day for Manthey with a win, a 3rd and a 5th as well for Ian Nguyen. 2 of their drivers will go into the championship fight tomorrow with a chance of becoming champions. What a day. Saturday is great, but you've got to have a good Sunday as well. They all will know that. I'll celebrate for now, but it'll all be with a pinch of salt. But there is Andy, Tommy Preining's dad, with him through thick and thin. All of Austria cheering. Austria are going to be split now, aren't they? Because they've got 2 drivers that could win this championship, Thomas Preining and Lucas Auer. The man, though, he's a fighter. He never gives up, and it's fantastic, isn't it, this story with Land Motorsport and Ricardo Feller. What, they've 3 podiums now in their first season together. We know Ricardo's massively capable of winning races and going for championship titles, but for Land, an excellent, excellent effort to get, in the last 2 races now, a win and a 2nd.
Yeah, what a fairy tale. It's probably the last season we're going to see the Audi in DTM. There's Gervin Skuring, that is Maurice's dad. That's his brother Flint there as well, just in the background. So they'll be celebrating tonight. But yes, it's probably the last year we're going to see the Audi in the DTM. What a way to go out with Ricardo Feller at the wheel. Really, really impressive stuff. And Maurice Skuring, well, isn't it great? It's a family affair in the Skuring household. I don't know what they put in the water there in the Netherlands, but they are all very rapid. Maurice is looking over his shoulder because Flint is coming through the ranks very quickly as well. He's the rookie champion in Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup at the moment.
Brilliant stuff. What a race. Let's get some news then from Verena down in the pits.
And the man who actually got 2nd place is Ricardo Feller. Congratulations, it's your 3rd podium. You won in Spielberg, so it's an upward trend and it's looking good for the last weekend of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Very proud to get a 2nd podium in a row. P1 in the Red Bull Ring, now P2. Very, very proud of the whole crew. Good pit stop again today. Tricky conditions, but we managed it, even though it was quite tight in the end.
Absolutely, you did a great job. Thank you so much, Ricardo, and back to you.
Thanks very much, Verena. Yeah, super job by Land and by that man, Ricardo Feller. Another podium becoming a trend now, this, isn't it? So their confirmation of the results. Thomas Preining, the winner, is 2nd of the season. Ricardo Feller in 2nd place. Maurice Skuring with a maiden podium in 3rd. Maro Engle in 4th place. Engine Nguyen with a battling 5th place. Jack Aitken 6th. Then René Rast 7th. Nicky Tim, brilliant job from the back, to 8th. Luca Engsler 9th, and Ben Green in 10th place. Mirko Bortolotti 11th, so 2 lots of points for Abt here at Hockenheim. Lucas Auer 12th. Gilles Magnus 13th. Arjun Maini, more points for the Indian driver in 14th, and Tom Callender, more points for him as well in his first season, 15th place. Max Powell just missed out on the points, as did Fabio Scherer. Marco Wittmann had that extra pit stop, and Thierry Vermeulen, who was put to the back of the grid after qualifying and had a puncture in the race. Ben Durr had an extra pit stop and dramas and ended up down in 20th place. Nicola Bart, we had a big off for him. It was a lap down in the end in 21st. Timo Glock looking good for him for the first part of the race, running in the top 10, but he was one of the retirements from that race. You're going on, of course, a retirement as well, which put him out of the championship fight. This was the moment, though, that Tommy Preining weaved his way across the line like he weaved his magic in those conditions. He wasn't all that confident that he had the pace to beat the Ferraris if the race was dry, but it wasn't, and he did, and he won. And now he is very close to having a massive chance. There's Mom and Dad cheering on to becoming a 2-time champion in the DTM. It'll all be different tomorrow, that's for sure, but the fight is absolutely on. And look at this for a finish for 2nd place, but a couple of really close 2nd place finishes this year. One at the Lausitz Ring and one here now. And that was just a 1/10 of a second, but Maurice Skurring will still be delighted with that. The team at Manthey were thrilled to bits. They are looking good now for a potential 2nd team's title in the last 3 seasons. But they haven't quite done it yet mathematically, but they are going to be difficult to beat now with the gap that they have built up. So a dramatic race. The weather dramatic. We had to wait for it. I mean, dramatic has been the key word, hasn't it, for the last, well, season really, but certainly the last 3 weekends at the Sachsenring, at the Red Bull Ring, and here at Hockenheim. I've never known anything like it, and we're not done yet. Podium ceremony then coming up, and there'll be a lot of joy down there. We get the announcement now from Toby Shimon of our drivers onto the podium for the penultimate round of DTM 2025. And there is a first experience of it for that man, Maurice Skurring, a DTM podium debutant, 3rd place, and an excellent drive from him. And 2nd place going to Ricardo Fella. It's his 2nd podium in as many races now, and his 3rd podium of the season. The driver, of course, that was in the championship fight, finished 3rd 2 years ago here at Hockenheim in the standings. The year that man won, Thomas Preining, into 2nd place in the championship now with a big win, possibly the biggest of his career. It has turned his fortunes around this weekend, and for the team, Manthey, they can celebrate a brilliant job. That's their best outright results of the year, with 3 drivers in the top 5, and they take the top step now with Tommy Preining. The Austrian national anthem plays for Thomas Preining for the 8th time in his DTM career. His 8th win in this magnificent championship, his 20th podium in the DTM, and perhaps none have been more important for him. It's the points that really matter. It's the points that have hurled him, well, he's hurled himself into the championship fight. He kisses the trophy. Pure determination writ all over his face, as always. Preining goes into tomorrow with a massive opportunity. Now, the drivers either side of him couldn't care less about championship points. They've just had a fantastic day. And another one for Land Motorsport, who had the loudest of cheers when they got that maiden win in their first season, remember, of DTM at the Red Bull Ring. And second place now, just one race later with Ricardo Feller. Again, like Maurice Skeuring, he's been on all the way through the weekend, really. All three of these drivers started the weekend well on Friday, and that has proven to be very apt coming into Saturday's first race of the weekend. That's a good moment he'll never forget. Maurice Skeuring gets his first DTM silverware. They want to party, but they can't because they've got another big race day coming up tomorrow. Manthey, the winning team, and I think we're all winners in this year's championship, aren't we, the way it's been going. It's been absolutely thrilling this season. Gerhard Hillebrand presents the Team Winners Trophy to our representative from Manthey, who, of course, are legends in the world of the Nürburgring 24-hour race. They've had 7 wins in that great race, only equalled by one other team, the Phoenix Racing team. And they are doing a very good job in DTM these days. So Manthey, EMA, and Thomas Preining celebrate. They all gang up on the representative of the team. He had no chance, did he? 2-on-1 there.
Brilliant, yeah. Anyone wise normally runs for cover, but what a result. What an unpredictable result that turned out to be.
Yeah, he just surrendered, didn't he, on the podium? I just know I can beat both of you.
Revenge now, down the back.
Down the neck.
Yes.
See, what goes around comes around. Hope he's got a spare race suit. Ricardo says, oh, I'm not wasting my champagne. I'll have a sup of that if you don't mind. I've deserved it. And there's our champagne cam. Wow, that's fantastic, isn't it? It just gives you a sense of the joy on the podium after what was a really tough endurance race in the end, that, wasn't it, with the delayed start. Thumbs up from Andy. Talking to him yesterday about the fond memories of going through European karting. And here he is, battling for a second title in the DTM. From Brian Oliver and me, Chris Hartley, thanks for your company. Back down to Verena.
And here I am with a very happy winner, Thomas Preining. And also you're now second in the championship. So in tomorrow's last race of the season, you could theoretically grab that title. So how happy are you?
Very. From a very, very unrealistic chance. We have somehow come within 3 points in one day, so couldn't have gone much better. But the job is obviously not done. Our goal is to win the championship, not one race. So all in tomorrow. We need to maximize once again and hope it's enough.
Right, well, fingers crossed. It's going to be super exciting, that's for sure. You do not want to miss tomorrow's last race of the DTM season. We will find out who the new DTM champion will be. So see you tomorrow. Here are the highlights. Bye-bye.
Start. Thumbs up.